So R. Kelly has been placed on suicide watch, and there are two questions. One, why did they do it? And two, what did he do about it? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years earlier this week, and he was subsequently placed on suicide watch at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Why was he placed on suicide watch? Here's what he's thinking. He's thinking it was punishment. He's thinking he's being punished because he was a high-profile inmate, and that's what they're doing. And I'm like, okay, I hear you, but I know better. Why do I know better? Well, for one thing, remember what I told you when I did the story on Frank James, the subway shooter? Before he even set foot in jail, I knew he was going to MDC Brooklyn, and I said he's going to be placed on suicide watch. That's the first thing they're going to do because of the high-profile nature of his crime and the unknown state of mind that he's in. That's why they do it. They do it to make sure, hey, we have to make sure this person doesn't get in and just bug out, whether on themselves or even on others. They have to monitor you. That's their protocol. That's one of their safety protocols. How do I know that? Why? Because when I first got arrested and was sent to MDC Brooklyn, that's where I went straight to. At the time, the nature of my case was fairly high profile, and they were unsure of my state of mind. So what did they do? Despite the fact that I exhibited and voiced no suicidal ideation, they sent me straight to suicide watch. My first days there in MDC Brooklyn was in suicide watch. So while I was in suicide watch, I was in a cell where there was nobody else there. There's nothing I can grab hold of. These are specially made cells to make sure that you don't have access to certain things that you can use to harm yourself. Additionally, you're being watched 24 hours a day. Generally speaking, they will have inmates watching you. So you have inmates that are working on the jail's behalf, and these are cadre inmates that are serving their sentences at MDC Brooklyn, and they will be paid more than other details, but still significantly less than it would cost to put a BOP correctional officer at your door for 24 hours. Now, fast forward to R. Kelly. R. Kelly is mad. He's complaining. This is punitive. This shouldn't happen. And do you know what he did about it? R. Kelly is suing MDC Brooklyn. Where's his case going? Absolutely nowhere. Let me tell you why. First, let me tell you what he's claiming. He's claiming that as a high-profile inmate, he's being punished. He says that they have a policy of doing this. He names Ghislaine Maxwell, and he says others. And guess what? That's the point. You've just undermined your entire argument. Like, the fact that you're saying this is a policy undermines you saying that it is punitive. If it is a policy for them to take high-profile inmates, and quite frankly, it is a policy. I've seen them do it so many times, and I've seen them do it after individuals receive high sentences. Now, there are several problems with this claim, and the first thing is that claiming these conditions are punitive. That has no weight whatsoever. Let me tell you why it has no weight. Because punitive is the point. Robert Kelly has been sentenced, convicted, and sentenced of several federal crimes. Punishment is the point. Punishment is not an accident. Punishment is the point. So to the degree that he's claiming these conditions are punitive, yes, they're supposed to be. Now, to the point that he's claiming these conditions rise to the level of cruel and unusual punishment, I think it's going to be found that he has failed to state a claim, and in other words, he has failed to allege sufficient facts to support the claim that he's making, because there's 3 causes of action, 8th Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment. I know he hasn't stated sufficient facts. The question is whether or not, how quickly it's going to take the court to make that official determination. It is possible that the government will actually respond, because he, in addition to filing the suit and asking for damages, it's a TRO, so temporary restraining order. The government may respond as soon as Tuesday morning. And if they do, by that time, he may not even be on suicide watch anymore. So that would make his TRO moot, because over the course of the weekend, they will have time to watch him, to observe him, and they may decide at any point, okay, he no longer needs to be on suicide watch. this is an absolutely frivolous lawsuit. But then I also wanted to point out what is said in the case Rhodes v. Chapman. As regards punishment, Rhodes v. Chapman says, to the extent such conditions are restrictive and even harsh, they are part of the penalty that criminals pay for their offenses against society. Like I said, that's not a problem. That's the point. So I've seen them do it to high profile individuals, and I've seen them do it to individuals who just got heavy sentences. When somebody gets a heavy sentence, somebody gets a life sentence, I've seen them take that person and put them straight on suicide watch because this is a significant event. So in carrying out their duty of protecting and providing for the care and safety of inmates, that is one of the things they do. One of the things that BOP officials will do to provide for the care and safety of the inmate population is ascertain when certain individuals may be at higher risk of self-harm. Getting a significant prison sentence is one such event. I've seen individuals be placed on suicide watch when they've lost a loved one. If they are significantly distressed, they're like, okay, for safety purposes, we may need to put this person on. Now, not every person gets treated like that. Not every situation demands it. But what happens is professionals will screen you, they will make an assessment, and then they will make a recommendation and a determination as to where you will be placed. And particularly with high profile individuals, they tend to err on the side of caution. So the question is, but what if they're wrong? What if he's not going to commit suicide? What if he's not suicidal? He still has no case. You see, in order to survive the Bivens case, the Bivens lawsuit that he has filed, he needs to state a claim. I just read his complaint. He has not stated a claim. Being placed in a suicide watch cell for a very limited period of time does not rise to the level of stating a claim. This is considered well within the realm of the BOP's discretion. The courts will throw this case may not last the month. In fact, I'm telling you right now, this case will be dismissed before the month is out. This case will probably be dismissed by next week. I'm telling you, this case is going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. I'm wondering why the attorneys who filed it actually filed it. It has me at a loss, especially when you admit that this is their practice. Do you not know how the courts rule on prison administration and issues of prison selling? Like, people have been complaining about double selling and prison conditions for decades. And the courts continuously and consistently give prison officials an extreme degree of latitude and discretion to decide what conditions they are housing inmates and prisoners in. It's up to them. In order to state a claim for cruel and unusual punishment, you've got to do more than say it's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable does not equal cruel and unusual in the scope and in the legal sense of dealing with prison administration and prison conditions. You've got to state a lot more. This case is going absolutely nowhere. And I've seen individuals talk about it. I've seen people report on it. They say, oh, he's asking for $100 million. And I'm like, have y'all talked to your legal experts? Have any of these anchors and reporters actually talked to their in-house legal counsel to find out that this case is going nowhere? I'm telling you, this case will not last a week. By 1 week from today, that case will be dismissed. I'm telling you. The government has probably written their dismissal to this already. The court will dismiss this. Like, the court may just dismiss it sua sponte. They might just do that because they might just dismiss the sua sponte. I'm not sure if they can. But if the court can dismiss it sua sponte, they might, because this wasn't filed by him as a pro se as a pro se litigant. So as a pro se litigant, he would actually have greater leeway. If he had filed it as a pro se litigant, they would generally be obligated to give him an opportunity to allege additional facts. But because this was filed by lawyers, they're going to look at them like, why are you wasting everyone's time? As always, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. But if you disagree with me, if you think, no, they're out to get him, this is a conspiracy, feel free to give me a thumbs down and tell me, if this is a conspiracy, Why do they do it to a whole range of high profile people and other individuals who get high sentences? Tell me why in the comment section. I'll see you next time.